What if Lucifer is not just a devil, not just a fallen angel, but something far greater, a being whose story stretches back billions of years to the very origins of the universe? Why did the name Lucifer originally mean lightbringer, yet later become a symbol of evil? Today, we will delve into the depths of this mystery and attempt to unravel one of the greatest enigmas of existence. Nearly 13 billion years have passed since the birth of the universe. Around 10 billion years ago, one world vanished because its spirit went against the fundamental laws of creation. This spirit, known as the light bearer or the galaxy's bringer of light, was a supreme entity that existed in a 12-dimensional reality. It illuminated countless worlds, but its desire to surpass all others led to its fall. In the higher realms, pride lowers vibrations, and as the light bearer succumbed to it, he began to lose his power. The core of his galaxy dimmed, yet he failed to notice. Before the night of Brahma, his light finally faded, and everything disappeared into the void. Only informational traces remained in the vacuum. What happened next was decided at the dawn of a new era. With the arrival of a new Manvantara, a cosmic cycle of renewal, spirits began to rediscover themselves and their forms to create worlds once more. However, the former light bearer no longer resided in the 12th dimension, his vibrations had fallen to the 8th. He reincarnated as a lonely star, around which only a few asteroids revolved. Even in this new state, the light bearer could have continued to shine, but instead, he became consumed by regret over the past. His yearning to create a grand world and restore his former light only further weakened his vibrations. The desire for results weakens one's connection with the absolute. The stronger the personal ambition, the weaker the conductivity of light. Had he simply radiated light, his vibrations could have been restored. However, caught in dreams of greatness, he continued his journey in the shadows. The former light bearer could not accept the loss of his power. Instead of simply emitting light, he sought to reclaim what was lost by developing his abilities. Like those on Earth who dream of superhuman powers while neglecting everyday life, he immersed himself in practices aimed at accumulating energy but lost his connection with the world around him. Obsessed with this goal, he failed to notice even those he could have helped. His star flared, sparked, and burned the asteroids around it. Eventually, he became a red giant, but his light grew dim. Continuing his practices, he exploded as a supernova, believing he had reached his limit and could be reborn as a galaxy. Yet after the explosion, he faded, becoming a brown dwarf. This illusion of grandeur ultimately destroyed him. Instead of ascending, his spirit descended to the 7th dimension. There, a new path unfolded before him. He was to incarnate as a lifeless asteroid. He was given a chance to accept a new reality, but he rejected this world, deeming it unworthy. Once again, pride eclipsed his light. Diving into despair, the former light bearer continued to lose his radiance. His thoughts of the universe's injustice only accelerated his descent. In the end, he directed all his power against the light, blaming the absolute for chaos and destruction. This led him to the very edge of reality. He fell into the anti-world, into the 7th negative dimension, a place where consciousness is consumed by the illusion of omnipotence. The anti-world serves as the universe's waste recycler, but any sentient being that ends up there becomes a prisoner of illusions. The light bearer found himself in a desert of dark matter, convinced that he had discovered the ultimate source of power. In reality, he was merely feeding the vortex of destruction. After the former light bearer fell into the anti-world, he began searching the universe for civilizations whose vibrations matched those of the anti-world, civilizations he could use as tools to carry out his sinister plan, a war against the absolute, or as he called it, chaos. He found a system of twin stars, Nibiru and Elohim. Their inhabitants, seeking physical immortality and refusing reincarnation, used advanced technology to alter their bodies, becoming hybrid beings, part insectoid, part reptilian, part humanoid. By aligning themselves with the fallen Lightbearer, they doomed their system. The twin stars could not withstand his power, fueled by the energy of the anti-world, and they vanished, reborn in other realms. The entire system collapsed into the negative seventh dimension, becoming his new stronghold. He seized this world, striving to become a demiurge, a creator separate from the absolute. Harnessing the energy of the anti-world, he began constructing his own structured cosmos, believing he was conquering chaos. Soon, fallen civilizations and spirits began to gather around him. Thus, the system of two black holes, known as Nibiru, was born, and its inhabitants became the Anunnaki. United in strength, he launched an incursion into our solar system, hoping to reclaim a planetary system, and later, an entire galaxy. He knew that the anti-world was merely a temporary recycler and sought to establish his dominion in the real universe. The former Lightbearer took on a new name, Satanael. The Semitic peoples, despite the pressure of the Anunnaki, remained loyal to the light for a long time. However, when one of Nibiru's rulers, presenting himself as Yahweh, began using technological superiority to impose dominion, their faith shifted. A war erupted on the highest levels of reality. The physical Anunnaki and even Yahweh served Satanael, though he secretly sought to replace him. Thus, the concept of the battle between God and Satan was born. Yet, in the deepest writings of the Anunnaki, it was said that Satanael was merely executing Yahweh's will by subjugating worlds. This war has continued since ancient times. It remains a war of equals, lasting until the galaxy drifts far enough from the boundary of the anti-world, where Satanael draws his power from the unconscious vortex of the universe. Yahweh knew he could not win directly, so he chose the path of deception. The scriptures were distorted, the true prophets rejected, and the Semitic people came to believe that they were chosen above all others. Satanael always saw himself as the light-bearer and believed that his mission was to eradicate chaos in order to build a new cosmos. He conveyed these ideas to select priests, forming a secret priesthood that began to worship him as the great creator. In Latin, his name became known as Lucifer. Drawing upon the knowledge of the Atlanteans, secret societies embraced a doctrine in which Yahweh was merely a king, while Lucifer was the true sovereign, waging war against primordial chaos. They rejected the idea of God as the absolute, permeating all existence, and instead saw themselves as his chosen architects. These beliefs persisted in Masonic lodges and secret societies under the influence of the Anunnaki from Nibiru and their rulers. Lucifer seeks to expand his dominion by destroying worlds. His goal is to reshape reality by merging the universe and the anti-world into a single realm, where chaos is entirely subjected to his will. To achieve this, he aims to provoke massive destruction, drawing power from the great vortex of the anti-world and establishing his absolute rule there. The danger of his ideology lies in how easily it is embraced by minds consumed by pride. Those who see themselves as sources of light and chosen rulers of fate unknowingly fall under Lucifer's influence. The inner satanic spirit makes enlightenment impossible, and the higher forces cannot save souls unless they themselves strive toward the light. The laws of the cosmos are not created, they exist as inherent properties of the Absolute. The higher teachers can only guide, but only the soul itself decides whether to awaken or to continue its descent. If you are intrigued by such mysteries and want to learn more about the hidden mechanisms of the universe, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Here, we unveil the secrets that have been kept hidden for centuries.